Welcome to People Like You. The Gilead House has been serving families in need within the Bay Area for over 15 years with the mission of providing life skills that lead to a stable existence and permanent housing. Renee Scott and Kiani Shedrick-Clark are here today to share a behind-the-scenes look at how this program is changing lives every day. So don't go away.
We know God is amazing, the work that He does. So I was in sales and marketing and always had a heart to help and wanted, be careful what you pray for.
It's a special place. It's probably a place unlike one you've ever known before, a place where you see miracles happening every day, where your faith is strengthened and you get to just pour out your love and also to receive love from these families. It's amazing.
Welcome back. The Gilead House has helped many families throughout their 15 years of operation, including over 50 women and their children. Gilead House Executive Director Renee Scott and Program Coordinator Kiani Shedrick-Clark are here with us today to share these stories and talk about the ministry. So glad you're both with us.
Well, thank you.
So tell us about Gilead House.
Gilead House is a transitional housing program for women and children, and the ages are roughly, we mostly serve children 2 years of age to 14 or 15 years of age. And Gilead House is a house. It's a beautiful facility, 6 rooms, but it's more than that. We talk about the Gilead Way, which is a program, and our goal is to empower women to have independent living and to be able to have stable lives.
It's to take care of their own children.
Yes.
And you're intimately involved with this program as well.
Yes, I work one-on-one with the moms and often with the kids and help the moms kind of plot out their course from the time that they come in and to the time that they exit the program.
All right, so as Renee, as the executive director, what is your role within the house?
My role, I juggle a lot of different balls, a lot of plates in the air. I do the operational and work with the staff, also do fundraising and board development as well.
All right, and how about you?
Again, I work one-on-one with the moms. And also to helping connect them to outsourced resources in the county that are helpful. We're finding that we can't rely on our own services to get these women to where they need to be. So helping them network and reach out to the support services in the community.
And I want to talk about more about the people who are within this home in a minute. But I want to know how it started. I mean, how did the Gilead House begin?
I believe there was a local church, I believe it was Bay Marin Community Church, and they saw that there was a need. Renee often has a way of phrasing this, but she says that women and children are 2 of our most vulnerable populations. And so I think that they saw a need and thought, how can we contribute? And so they rented a house, and then they rented another, and then a capital campaign began, and now we're where we are now.
So these homes are located where?
We have one home in Novato, that's in downtown Novato, and then we recently purchased a 12-unit apartment complex a couple miles from our facility because moms are in our program for 12 months, sometimes stretching to 18 months, but we're very focused on education, and that being the means for them to improve their earning power so that they can provide for their family. So we're always encouraging short-term educational VOTEC programs. So while they're in the main facility, they have the opportunity to do that, go to school and work, and then move to the next facility, living a little bit more independently and save money for a down payment and what they'll need for the next stage of their lives.
Speaking of that, in regards to this ministry, is there outside funding, or how is it funded?
99% of our funding is from private donors. We have been very blessed, but with the new facility, we've got a lot of challenges ahead of us, and Kiani and I have a vision to strengthen our program, and that's going to take resources as well.
Okay. You talk about women who bring their children to this home. Is there a process they go through in order to be accepted into the home?
Yes. So Generally, we will have people, other case managers in the area. We will have people from shelters call and refer. And if you go onto our website onto gileadhouse.org, there's an application, and then they will send the application to me, and then we begin a dialogue and kind of start talking about what their needs are, where they are emotionally, where their children are, and exactly what they need. And then we meet, and then the dialogue continues for a while to see if we're a good fit for each other.
How many families are in the home at one time?
6.
You can take 6 families at once. And how many people are working with those 6 families at one time?
We have an active staff that's one-on-one with the moms of 3. So Renee, myself, and Phoebe, our house manager.
All right, and these women can come from, I'm guessing, multiple kinds of backgrounds,
Absolutely.
multiple kinds of issues. So there must be a training process that goes into place for you. For you to be able to help these women, you have been trained to help them in some way.
Yes. So I have a varied background, many lives, lots of different things I've done. I've worked in treatment facilities, doctor's offices. I'm currently working on my master's in performance psychology, and I also have training as a life coach.
Okay. And you?
Same thing. I think it's life experience. We know God is amazing, the work that He does. So I was in sales and marketing, and always had a heart to help, and wanted, be careful what you pray for, and was led to found a nonprofit and run one for 12 years in another state, and then moved here, and that served moms and kids as well. And God led me to Gilead House here, and serving moms and kids again. And I know He brought us together. We work very well together and share a common vision.
And so you feel like you're the place that you should be right now?
Without a doubt. And we're so blessed to see God's movements every day in the ministry. The people that He brings to our doors, if we need help with the website or marketing.
Right.
That's just something as a faith-based agency, you have a lead ahead of everyone else.
All right. So we got some of the perspective out of the way so that we know what Gilead House is about. When we come back from the break, I'd like to hear about the women that you help, and perhaps you can tell me about a success story, someone who's actually come out on the other end and is working and thriving. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, more when we return, so don't go away.
They come from various walks of life, addiction, domestic violence, and sometimes just simply chronic homelessness. I think they desire change, or there's something in them they know that life can be different, that there's something else out there, that it doesn't have to be what it has been.
We're back with Renee and Kiani from the Gilead House, a ministry dedicated to serving homeless and in-need families within the Bay Area. So we talked in the first segment about the house itself, how it was established, and reasons that you are working with these young ladies and their kids. But I'd like to talk more specifically about them. Let's picture the house with 6 families in it, not necessarily this moment, but 6 families. It would seem to me that you have women who are struggling with a variety of things when they come into the home. Is that true?
Absolutely. They come from various walks of life, addiction, domestic violence, and sometimes just simply chronic homelessness, or even generational homelessness.
Where it's the norm.
Yes, yes.
And why would those that this is generationally, that are generationally homeless, why would they decide to come now to a program like this?
I think they desire change, or there's something in them they know that life can be different, that there's something else out there, that it doesn't have to be what it has been. And I don't know if it's a change in their heart, God's put something in their heart, or if it's an intellectual piece, but there's something that I think that clicks and they want something more.
All right, and those that may come from an abusive situation, I'm assuming, Renee, that might be sudden. And do you have problems with keeping women away from boyfriends, men? Do you have to deal with any of that at this place?
No, we're not a safe house, but safety and security is a great concern for us. Keone does an awesome job of working with the moms, navigating through these processes when there is a separation and from a volatile partner. But the moms have to be also, especially if we take a step back to like addiction, we require that they have a year of sobriety. So there have to be some steps already in place. We have a small home, 6 rooms, so we're looking for women that want to make changes.
Okay. And when they come in with their children, give me an example of someone who may have been in the home recently that has arrived with their child. Tell me, in your head, think of someone and tell me about that person.
We have one mom who they've been chronically homeless. Has made numerous attempts to try to secure housing for them, and for whatever reason it falls through. They've stayed in hotels. Most recently I learned they've slept at a bus stop. So
Because there aren't enough homes available.
I wouldn't say there aren't enough homes available. I think that there are barriers to housing, and one of them is the financial barrier. What we're finding now, we're doing a lot of research, as Renee mentioned, trying to strengthen our program and trying to find out more about homelessness, and finding out that these women are not even close to making enough money to have a place in Marin. However, they want to be here because their supports are here, their families are here, they grew up here.
Okay. And so in this particular instance, are there children involved as well with this woman who's there?
Yes, so every family that comes in, there are children. So this mom has 3 kids, and varying ages, I would say between 3 and 7, and that's a lot.
And where did they last live?
They came to us from a hotel.
Okay. And do the kids go to school?
Yes, they're enrolled in Head Start, and then one of the other local schools.
All right. So when she comes in, how is she greeted? What is the first thing she does at Gilead House when she comes in through the doors?
It can vary for everybody. I would say for this particular mom, it was a sigh of relief to say, okay, you know what, I can breathe. I know where my kids are going to sleep tonight, and we know where we're going to sleep tomorrow, and the night after that, and the night after that. So I think, and so it can vary.
All right. And in the situation, you meet with her, you spend time with she and her children, and when does she discover that she can be there for 12 months?
They know that right away from when we extend the offer to join the program. They know that they have 12 months.
So when she comes in with her 3-year-old, she has a place for her child to eat and live, and she has that confidence coming in.
Yes, she's.
How is she doing?
She's actually doing quite well. She's thrived with being with Renee, myself, and I think, and most recently our house manager, who is very hands-on. She's there in the evening. It's almost like a parent relationship. So we're kind of mom during the day, and then Phoebe's mom in the evening. And she's there to just support, hugs, things like that. Just help them kind of process their day. And also, too, learning housekeeping skills.
All right, so she's learning skills so that she can actually raise her children later on when the year is up.
Yes.
Is that it? And how are the children doing?
I think they're doing well. When they first came in, I've been reading more about chronic stress among children who are homeless or precariously housed in stable housing. The effect it has on kids. They generally are more inclined to have poor physical health and developmental delays, and Keone's working with the kiddos on that. But for lack of better words, they were almost like feral children when they came in. I had never seen that kind of activity, and they've really settled down. It's, they feel safe. They put their head on the same pillow every night. They can sit at the same table and eat their meals. It's really
There's some
beautiful.
continuity in their lives that hasn't been there in the past, and so that also gives them a nice environment to be educated as well.
Yes.
All right. So that is one example. So how many women decide to leave in those first few days? Do they leave or do they stay?
They stay. I think there's sometimes a challenge within the first few months of being there, but generally the first few days they're there. They want to be there.
They want to be there. All right. Well, we can hear more about that when we get back. find out how you can get involved in serving the Gilead House when we return, so don't go away.
It's a special place. It's probably a place unlike one you've ever known before, a place where you see miracles happening every day, where your faith is strengthened, and you get to just pour out your love and also to receive love from these families. It's amazing.
Welcome back. There are people watching that might want to be involved with the Gilead House. They might want to volunteer, they might want to provide financial aid or services, and so we'll provide information at the end of the program as to how they can get in touch. But I'm sure you're open to any assistance.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to say that if you have 6 women and several children, I mean that could be up to 18 children possibly, you know, in addition to the women, and so you're really helping all of them track. And it's not an easy battle. At first there's a newness, but you mentioned that it can get maybe more complicated in the progression of months. So tell us about the program, how people start, where they are all along the way, and why it gets tough.
They come in, they have a place to sleep, they're comfortable. I think they have that hierarchy of needs. Their needs are being met, those immediate needs, food, shelter, water, and that's comfortable. And also too, they're being met with people that are loving and caring and truly, truly are interested in their well-being. But then there's a time where it says, okay, you know what? We have to start planning some goals. We have to start looking at where are we going to go from here.
Yes.
And I think it probably would be ideal just to stay in that moment. It's so safe there. But we have to start projecting, okay, let's look at what we're going to do. What is it that you'd like to do while you're here? I personally, and I think Renee as well, we like to have them dream and see what their passions are, what type of program they could go into, or what type of skills they possess. And so for some of the moms, they have a lot of anxiety around that.
That would be difficult, and they are in a safe place. They like being in the house where they're cared for and their children, so to move on would be very scary. How do you work past that and through that?
That's a great question, and something that we, each situation is different, and we're getting better about the transition, but you're absolutely right. It is a beautiful home, and they do develop relationships, and so there's a lot of fear with change that we need to address and support them.
Well, and you've been doing this for 15 years. And presumably there have been, 6 moms and family members for, all of those years, kind of being promoted on into life. And so it's done, but I think what you're saying is there are no 2 situations that are exactly alike. So it looks to me like you work very hard to minister to the needs that are presented to you at that moment. For instance, if a child is having some difficult times or maybe had a trauma, you're going to work in that area. If the mom has anxiety issues and doesn't want to move forward, then you have to stop what you're doing in one direction to kind of address that. So you have to multitask while you're trying to move these people forward. I'm going to guess that's exhausting.
It can be tiring. However, I would probably say you asked a question earlier about are we in the right place? And I think because it's God inspired, we're not totally exhausted, because I think he provides us what we need.
And do you do Bible studies with these women? Do you teach them how important prayer is in their life? And what avenues do you give them in the faith-based area to help them pursue their dreams?
We're not shy about talking about God and about Jesus. And also too, some of the people that come in, they teach life skills to our moms on Tuesday evenings. They'll come in and they'll kind of mix the topics together. They'll do parenting, and they will talk about the Bible with the moms at the same time, using scripture or doing financial classes.
So there is that involvement as well. All right.
Yes, and Phoebe, the house manager, is going to start a Bible study in another month or so.
All right. So tell me about a woman that is in your mind that made it through the program and is doing well. I'm sure there are many, but tell me about one that comes to mind now.
There's one that comes to mind. She is a hard-working woman. She just recently actually graduated from the phase 1 of the program to phase 2 and moved into the apartments. And she would get up at 4:30 in the morning to make sure that she was showered and dressed and that she made lunches. She'd pray over the food for her kids as she was packing it, and then she would get them up and get them going. Both of her boys are special needs. So she took them to 2 different schools, and then she got herself to school. And she did this religiously. And pretty much she was able to, it's almost like miracles, like Renee was talking about, miracles just started popping up. People were offering her scholarships and opportunities and all these different things. So it was kind of like she was doing the work and God was meeting her halfway. And she's doing wonderfully.
And has she gotten through the program, the school program? Is she?
Yes, she just graduated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in the apartment, how long can she stay in the apartment? And how do you decide who gets to remain in those apartments?
This is a process that we're working on. It's so new to us. We have 2 moms in there right now, and there are tenants in there, so through attrition we'll be moving moms in, but we're in the process of evaluating that program.
So she has shown movement forward.
Yes.
And her children still need help. She still needs help, especially with them being special needs, for her to get to the next stage. So you seem like it was a good place for her to be in this apartment. That's what I'm assuming.
Definitely.
All right. So Gilead House, we have 60 seconds. What do you want our audience to know about it before we leave?
It's a special place. It's probably a place unlike one you've ever known before, a place where you see miracles happening every day, where your faith is strengthened and you get to just pour out your love and also to receive love from these families. It's amazing.
And if someone's watching and they know someone who's either homeless or in an abusive situation or could use some help, how is it fine for them to contact you?
Definitely. By phone or the website or email, any source.
And you begin the evaluation process right then. All right. Well, thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
For more information about Gilead House and to find out how to get involved or apply to the program, visit gileadhouse.org or ktln.tv. Remember that KTLN is a donor-supported ministry and programs like this one are made possible through your support. Thanks for being with us and join us again next week.